Hey everyone, fall's finally here in the Metroplex. Dan Carson from B.Y.O.B Mortgage here. Looking forward to catching up with everybody. It's been a couple weeks. I actually got to take some vacation, spend some time with my family. We've got a house out in Florida, which kind of gave me some ideas and started prepping me for the upcoming shows that I'll talk about here in a moment. But had a couple great weekends of football. Dallas Cowboys look like they're finally back on track. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. Texas OU was a great game. Unfortunately, my Longhorns didn't make it out. A&M came up with a big win against the number one. So lots of fun stuff going on in the sports world. And I'm going to talk about, just try to bring in some of the real world things that happen in life and talk about some of the fun things that we get to experience. Texas OU weekend is a big weekend. And that's always something that's fun. This is first time in a long time that I've been out of town for it. Still got to enjoy the game. We were actually sitting on the beach in Florida on the 30A, watching the game and watching the kids play in the ocean. So it was a pretty cool way to do the game compared to how we usually do it here in Dallas. My wife was a Longhorn. I was not. I went to several different schools, but so I've always been a Longhorn fan, have been as a kid and as everything. Hopefully, anybody that's in the Boomer Sooner Nation can forgive me for that. And but it's always great to have fun football. Get the fall weather coming back in. It's a little rainy and muggy outside today. Not a pretty day, but that's kind of we start getting these days and kind of gets the transition into fall, which is one of my favorite seasons in Texas because in our business, the really busy season is kind of through the spring and summer. Fall is usually a little bit of a lull, but this year has been the exact opposite. These past 2-3 months and heading into the next 2 or 3 months have been some of the busiest that we've ever had. And so some of the buying cycles that we see in the real estate world have completely changed, completely turned upside down. And, we're just kind of getting used to the new norm is always being busy, which there's nothing wrong with that. We're blessed. We're appreciative of all the business that people send to us, that people trust us with their mortgage needs and helping them out throughout the process. So we've got tons of agents, tons of new agents that we're meeting, and the business has just been continuing to grow and continuing to see success. Hey, Lyndon, I think your mic isn't muted, so just want to let you know that I'm getting some background noise. So that being said, this show is not going to be anything big, special. I'm not going to try to do anything to help business or anything else. I may give some ideas, but what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to introduce the upcoming shows that we're going to be doing over the next couple of weeks because I'm excited about them. I just said I got back from vacation and I own a second home. I have a business partner in that, and it's been something that's been great for our family, especially through COVID and through some of the kind of unique working environments that we have now from a remote working standpoint. The idea of having a second home is something that a lot of people are interested in investigating. So I picked a couple of markets that I know people in the Dallas area in particular are very interested, not just the Dallas area. People from Texas in general are interested in a couple of different markets that I want to share some information about. I'm licensed in all these states, can help people search for second homes or relocate to these areas because I'm licensed to do business in these 3 states that I've identified. So one is Florida. That 30A area that I'm in is one of the most popular areas for people to vacation at. It's up in the Panhandle, very beautiful place. It's one of the I've been going there for almost 10 years now. And, the first time I went, I was like, I'm going to do everything I can to save up to eventually have a place out here. And it's been great. It's been something that's been great for our family. And I'm going to talk about some of the things that we've done to make it to where it's not only affordable, but it's actually it can be profitable as well. So the 30A area in Florida, I'm going to have a couple different agents from that market come onto the show so that it can give you some information specific to those areas and talk about specific to that area and the different areas that they specialize in. And those agents are some of the top producers in those markets and will be great connections, and we'll have a ton of information on that market. Another area that I'm going to talk about is Oklahoma. A lot of people have second homes up in the Broken Bow area. Broken Bow is blown up over the past couple of years. A lot of people love going there for a quick weekend, quick 3-day getaway. And, it's a 2-hour drive from Dallas, and it's a very easy trip out there. And I'm going to have a builder and a realtor that are doing a development out there right now. They've been building out there for the past year or so. And the guys that are local to Dallas. So it'll give you a local connection to a market that is booming right now. And it's a lot of fun. We've been there in the past past year ourselves, and went to a friend's home, second home that's also a vacation rental with them. So, and then the other market is going to be Colorado. There's a lot of people that own ski homes, that own, condos, that own houses, that are, there's a couple different markets there. You got Aspen, Snowmass, you got Breckenridge, Vail, Pagosa Springs is a big one as well. And we're doing second home loans in Colorado and Florida this month ourselves, like with clients. So these are all markets that I think are going to be attractive. We're going to have agents and people come in from those markets onto the show to talk about what's going on specifically, how to be competitive when you're making offers, things to consider when you're buying a home in those markets, and then kind of playing out from there. So I'm kind of excited about the second home piece, but I'm also excited about another piece, which could play into purchasing a second home as well. And that's doing renovation loans, renovation, construction, any kind of, with the lack of inventory that we have in Dallas-Fort Worth, construction, renovation are two products that we get asked about all the time. The kind of the love it or leave it, ever since Chip and Joanna started their show and started doing homes down in Waco, everybody kind of sees like, what it looks like now doesn't mean that's what it has to look like long term. And people are a lot more ready to go through the process of renovating or building themselves. And especially with the availability issues, builders are kind of writing their own tickets. So it's not always easy dealing with builders. We've got some great builder partners that we work with, and we've heard some crazy stuff from other people in the market, and from certain instances on performance on contracts and then listing it or raising prices on things. And there's a lot that goes into that process as well. So I'm going to have some guests on the construction renovation side come onto the show as well. So the next 6-8 weeks are going to be fun. They're going to be talking about buying second homes. They're going to be talking about doing construction and renovation. And these are areas where these are not really easy financial transactions, but they're things that we're very good at as a team. And I think that I can give a lot of information on that. So a couple things I'm going to cover quickly about those two items. Second homes. If you're considering buying a second home, or in the process of buying a second home, there's a lot of considerations you have to go through. One, is this going to be something that is only used by you? But a lot of people are supplementing the cost of a second home with vacation rentals. So going through one of the big vacation rental companies and hiring a management company. We have a management company that listed on all those sites for us, manages our property when we're not there, which is kind of nice, because you've got kind of an industrial service cleaning wise. You got to make sure that there's all the different COVID things that people have to take into account from a cleaning perspective. And so you have a company that can manage it. So the first thing you're going to consider is it going to be just for use by you, or is it going to be for use by, or are you going to try to supplement the income with second homes? Now, there's qualifications for the amount of time that you have to spend out there, which in order for it to qualify as a second home. So some of those things are going to be things that we talk about. The other piece is going to be, where do you want to be? Is it going to be Colorado? Is it going to be Broken Bow? Is it going to be Florida? Is it going to be some other market? What are the intentions? What is the use? Those are all questions that you need to start getting into. What is the budget is the third thing you need to consider. Like, how much are you willing to spend? What's a monthly spend look like? If it's a second home and you're expecting to use vacation rental income to help you qualify for it, that's going to be kind of a Kickstarter. You got to make sure that you have room on your income in order to qualify for that second home in the first place. Are you going to buy it with partners? Are you going to buy it individually? There's so many different things that you have to run into and run through from a financial perspective from looking at that. And then I think the most important thing is like, who are you going to work with when you get out there? How are you going to work with an agent remotely? Are you willing to buy something sight unseen? Are you willing to buy something, which is what I did, and it worked out great. Now, it could have gone the exact opposite way, and there could have been a ton of different issues to navigate, but I made an offer on a place, bought a place, and I did not see it till the day I was at closing and got keys to it. Now, I had a great realtor that went out, checked out the property, inspected everything for us, and we did a very thorough inspection report, and we were fortunate that it worked out really well. But these are all things that you have to take in consideration when you're buying a second home. And so some of what we'll talk about is those 4 questions that are kind of the big questions you need to ask in terms of qualification, pre-approval, like how you're going to use it, what it's going to look like, where you want to be, and then how you're going to qualify for it, and what's the budget going to be. And there's a lot of different ways that you can do the second homes from a loan standpoint, from a conventional jumbo standpoint. And we'll go through all of that and what different investors look like. So after we get through the whole process of talking about the markets, then we'll talk about actually qualifying, how you get ready to be able to do it. A lot of that's done on an individual basis, but I'll go through and prepare some pretty good notes on like what you need to think about and how you need to take it into consideration in order to make that happen. So the next piece is on the construction renovation side. The buying existing versus building, the improving an existing versus buying something that's already improved, and just some of the things in the tactics that go into it. Selecting a builder, creating a budget, having plans. All those things are big things that you have to have in order before you get there. And just some of the different product and pieces that we have internally as a company to help us identify what is going to be the best fit for you. So I'm really excited about these next 2 subjects. I think that it's going to be fun. It's going to be something that's going to give good information to people, get people engaged, and also have an opportunity for you to connect with some experts in those markets that are there and knowing it. I'll be able to set up some ways to do direct commenting to us or emails to us. And I'll try to, when I get questions that come in, when people email me questions, and if you have questions about either renovation, construction, or buying a second home in an external market. And a second home doesn't necessarily have to be in one of these 3 markets. It could be somewhere else in Texas. It could be down in Galveston. It could be down in South Padre. It could be in the Hill Country. The one thing I haven't touched on is ranches. Ranches are a completely different thing to talk about, but there are some ways where you can get some conventional financing on homes on acreage. So there's a lot of different things to talk about within this, but I'm going to focus specifically on those 3 markets for the time being. But I will take emails for people to request other markets, and we can start looking at agents in other areas and other cities to help bring them along. So when you need to connect with me, email dan@wbm.com, reach out to me, and then I want the people that are actually connected to the show and the people that I'm connected to help drive some of the content that we're creating over this. So as I was sitting on the beach, I was trying to think of like what would be some fun things to do for this, because the show is, like I said, content's always a struggle. You're always trying to come up with new things. And so I was sitting out there and I was like, why would I not want to talk about this? This has been something that's been great for me and my family. It's been a wonderful experience, and it's been something that's helped us grow together. And it's something that I hope I can share with others. And, this is going to be a fun couple weeks. I think it's going to be exciting. And I look forward to everyone checking out the show in the next couple of weeks, engaging with me, asking questions, figuring out what I can do to help get more information to you guys and answer some of the questions along the show with the guests that we have. So make sure you reach out to me at Dan@WBM. Let me know the things that you guys want to cover. And this is going to be a fun couple of weeks going through this, and I look forward to catching up with everybody soon. We got more fun fall activities going through. You got the last couple of weeks of the fair. So everybody who hasn't been, try to get out, try to enjoy some of that hot fried food, enjoy your families. This is the time where I feel like people really get to connect and come together. You got all the holiday seasons coming up. You got all the sports going on right now. And, you're coming into the best times of the year. You get to put on a little sweater versus worrying about like how you're going to make it through the day and you're without sweating through a suit. And it's a fun time of year, and it's one of my favorite times of year. And I look forward to talking through those two subjects, answering everybody's questions, and having a little bit more engagement in the show so that you guys can help me drive the content moving forward. So thanks, everybody. Hope you all have a great week. And again, this is Dan Carson and Will Bend, and I look forward to connecting with y'all soon.